Hi, my name is April Foster, and this is God's Mighty Hand, Lesson 2. And we'll start this week, like normal, with a word of prayer, our memory work, and Bible facts, then on to our lesson, and then finally activities at the end. All right, so diving right into the lesson, it starts this week, God preparing Moses to lead his people. Of course, the lesson narrative is available in a free download below, in the link below, and all these visual aids as well throughout the lesson. So we'll start the lesson with a review of the genealogy down to Moses. So we get all the way down to Amram, who is Moses' father, and then a reminder that we left the lesson whenever Moses was kind of in this stage right here in the last lesson, and that he grew to be a man and then later an older man. And so this lesson is during this stage of Moses' life. All right, and so the story cards begin with Moses growing up in the palace with Pharaoh's daughter and learning the ways of the Egyptians, him being aware that he was Hebrew and he didn't like the way those Hebrews were being treated, that he saw, one day he saw one being hurt and killed, and he killed the Egyptian who was hurting that man and buried him in the desert. And then from there, he went to live in Midian. So because we are moving now out of the land of Egypt, you also have included a map that you can use with those places labeled. And then as he's in Midian, he marries Jethro's daughter Zipporah. And then we end this lesson with him tending sheep and seeing the burning bush. And it's kind of a cliffhanger. All right, and so to go with this lesson, you have a map activity. As you know, I love map activities, tongue twister, because they show us that these are real people and real places that really happened a long time ago. And so there you have two different versions depending on what levels you're teaching. This one is for levels 1 and 2 with the pictures. So you will likely have these pre-cut and ready to glue on the map where they belong, and the list of where to put those. And then for the older students, you'll just have them label them with a pen or a pencil. All right, the other activities you have for the older kids, you have a big crossword puzzle, and this will take a lot of time. So either be prepared to leave plenty of time for it in class, or to do it on a Sunday so that they can finish it up Wednesday night as they're coming into class as a review. The other things that I have that kind of carry over into all 4 levels is this sandals game. And so of course we know that when Moses approached the burning bush, he was told to take off his sandals because the place he was standing was holy ground. So on the fronts of this deck of cards are sandals, and on the backs are questions that you can ask the kids. So it's a who or what question. And so you'll see a picture that says what is happening here, and the student will need to tell you what is happening in that picture. This is really, really good for levels 1, 2, and even 3. And it's fun for levels 4. They like to see what they're going to get. So that is that's a what question. And then the who questions, let's see, are who am I? So this would be Moses. And so it's just recognizing the characters and being able to recall the names. You also have Moses as an older man. You have like his brother Aaron as a young boy. Zipporah, and again, just getting those names on quick recall, so that makes the lesson a lot easier to teach. You can teach the concepts as opposed to the names. All right, and then last is some like kind of take-home activities or things to do while they're waiting for class to start, so they're not running around the building. And that is a coloring sheet that you have of Moses approaching the burning bush. You can also save this for next week as well. For the older kids, a word search with that terminology for them at the bottom. Also for the older kids, a kind of a little, I guess, how would you call this? A key, a decoder. The words are coming to me now. And then you have, for the younger kids, you have 2 different mazes if you want to do it. And again, these are not classroom activities, but items to do maybe while they're waiting for class to start, or to send them home with to kind of reinforce those concepts. All right, and that is it for lesson number 2.